Hey, Pre-Calc 1 guys. This is Chapter 3, Section 3. It'll be the first part of this. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over log properties, and we're going to talk about how to expand logs. This will eventually help us to solve equations with logarithms in them. I hope you did well on your quiz today. And this section shouldn't be too hard, but you have to practice a lot to see how it goes. These are the properties that we're going to be dealing with. And the first one you've seen already. That this is really the definition of a logarithm. Where this is the base number. The logarithm always equals an exponent. And this is going to be our answer, B. So if this said log base 5, for example. Let's say if this said log base 5 of, let's make it easy, 25 equals 2. Really what this means is that log of 5 to the 2 equals 25. So that's what that property says. Another property says that if you have the log of two numbers that are being multiplied together, you could actually separate those and take the log of the first one plus the log of the second. In your calculator, try this. The log of 20, which is 4 times 5. If you do the log of 4 plus the log of 5 in your calculator, you'll see that it comes out to be the log of 20. And likewise, the log of 2 plus the log of 10, add them together, they'll come out to be the same thing as log of 20 because 2 times 10 is 20. Try this in your calculator. Just play around a little bit. Another property is if you have the log of two numbers being divided, just like we add it when we're multiplying, we're going to subtract when we divide. And you could take numbers and play around with this if you want. Try any two numbers and put them in here, take the log of it, and then do it separately and subtract them, and you'll see that the answer comes out to be the same. And this fourth one, which is very important, if we ever have a log of a number, and by the way, if there's no base, it's automatically base 10, isn't it? But if we have the log of a number raised to a power, we're allowed to multiply that power out front and deal with it later. And I want you to try this in your calculator. The log of 3 squared, which is 9. Take the 2 and move it out front and just go 2 times the log of 3 and see what you get. These two answers will come out to be the same. This is a property that we can rely on. Now what the book is asking us to do is they're asking us to expand these logarithms that they give us using these properties, basically these three right here. So this one says log base 5 of two things that are being divided. What I could do is I could go log base 5 of the top one minus log, it should say base 5 of the bottom one. Now, if I get something like this and it simplifies real nice, I could simplify it because this says 5 to what power is 125? If that asks you a question, don't forget. So 5 to the third power, 5 times 5 is 25, times another 5, 25 times 5 is 125. So 5 to the third is 125. So this is actually the number 3. You can't put this in your calculator because your calculator doesn't have a base 5. But I'll tell you how to deal with that a little bit later. This one's another division one. It's a natural log though. So I take the natural log of the top one minus the natural log of the bottom one, which is property number 3. Property number 4 says I could take that exponent now and move it out front. I couldn't move it out front before because both of them didn't have a 4. The 4 didn't go to the e and to the 8. But now I can move it out front and say 4 ln of e equals minus ln of 8. And ln of e really asks the question log base e of e, which means e to what power is e? Oh, that's equal to 1. So this here is equal to 1. 4 times 1 is 4. So our answer is 4 minus ln of 8. I suggest that you pause this video right now and think about these two problems. Let's go to number 32. Number 32 is one that maybe we could rewrite. Since it has a radical, we'll rewrite it in exponent form. Oh, and I made a mistake here. This is a 5th power. So really, instead of a 2, this should be to the 1/5 power, right? And when we move that 1/5 out front, using property number 4, we'll get a 1/5 log of x over y. Now log of x over y, again, this should be a 1/5, not a 1/2. There I go again, making these mistakes. But 1/5 log of x over y will use property number 3. There's two things being divided, so we could go log of the first one minus the log of the second one. If we want, we can distribute this 1/5 inside here, but this answer is every bit as valid as this one. Take a good look at that. Pause the video, try it again. The last one I'm going to do for you is a little bit longer, and it looks really crazy, but, and there I go. Let's see, this is, I'm going to have to rewrite this one because it's a 5th root and write it to the 1/5 power. Now I have a logarithm of something to the 1/5 power. That fourth property says I can move that 1/5 out front. But I have a log of two things being multiplied, one raised to the power, and it's divided. Let's just take it step by step. Leave the 1/5 out front. This part, we'll do the division first, is going to be the log of the top minus the log of the bottom. Then this one looks like it could expand a little bit more. Leave the 1/5 out front. I got log base 2 of the first one plus log base 2 of the second one, which is our second property. Take a look. That's our second property. Then what we're going to do is just bring that one down, and we notice that we have an exponent, and our fourth property says that we could bring the 4 out front. And it looks like basically this is our answer. However, we have 2 to what power equals 16? 2 times, to the first is 2, to the second is 4, 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16, 8 times 2 is 16, so 4 2's make that 16, so this number turns into a 4 because 2 to the 4th is 16, because 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 comes out to be 16. That's 4 and 4 is 16. So look at this one again, try it, and then you try the numbers in the book in that first part of that section, which is section 3.3. And I think the first few you don't have to try. You could try if you want to start from the very beginning. But I want you to do numbers 1 to 40. Let's write it on here. So this is page 475, numbers 1 to 40. Try the odd ones first. Check your answers in the back, and then we'll talk about it on Wednesday or Thursday, whenever your chat day is. Have a good night.